So what's going on with the wild Switch Pro rumors, and is it really going to come out this year? More on that on the Tech Summit Podcast, episode 33. I am Francisco.
I'm Chris.
And if you are watching on YouTube, do make sure to check out the social media that is going to be right down here on the screen and in the description.
And of course, if you are listening on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasts, all of that information will be in the respective descriptions.
That's right. And don't forget that we do have the Tech Summit Discord if you would like to be part of the community. The invitation to that is going to be in the description of whatever platform you're using right now.
All right. And of course, one last little pitch, generic here, doing nothing. Just want to fill in this space with one more promotional piece.
Oh.
I don't know. Stay tuned. Stay tuned. We may have a couple of little things in the works going forward.
What a cliffhanger. But you know what?
That's right.
It's an exciting one. So keep that in mind.
Now, of course, get us started.
Of course. So there have actually been a lot of Switch Pro rumors emerging for quite some time. It has been the case since around 2018, which was, literally just 1 year after the first Switch came out. And it's just been building up and building up and building up. And 3 years later, in 2021, now it seems like we're getting a lot closer to that. However, the amount of rumors that are emerging, some of them are pretty insane and some of them a lot more reasonable, I want to say. So I'm going to start listing them off one by one as I know of them, and then we'll discuss.
Okay.
So, number one, it's going to be a 7-inch display.
How big is the display on the regular Switch?
It's about, it's more than 5 inches, definitely.
It's funny because I have the Switch with me today, and
we still need a measuring stick to know.
Yeah, I don't have built-in measuring stick.
Let me go ahead. Yeah, let me go ahead and check that out. Okay, so Switch display size. Let's see. Do not show me the Switch Lite. 6.2 inches.
Okay.
There we go. Yeah.
So slightly bigger for 7 inches. I can believe that. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
It doesn't make a huge difference in the form factor. I don't think it would, at least, assuming the Joy-Cons are the same size.
Now, question to you. Do you think that it is going to end up being a bigger Switch to try and accommodate that? Or do you think that they're just going to reduce the size of the bezels and keep the same form factor?
A mix between the two. I can believe it's a mix between the two. Like, they're going to reduce the bezels, but I don't think it's going to be to the point where they can actually just, not increase the size of the Switch whatsoever.
You think?
I want to think the Switch is going to be just a little bit bigger. I want to think. I mean, I'm sure third-party people will be very happy about that. New Switch cases to sell, but
yeah. That absolutely, or just new Switch screen protectors, maybe. Not totally sure.
No, yeah, that too. Yeah.
Yeah, I guess so. But then in that case, where would they put the speakers? Because if the screen is going to occupy the entire space there, and the speakers are front firing, if they put them on the bottom, they're not going to sound very good, because they already don't sound that great.
I mean, it's a Nintendo move, if anything else.
Come on. But it's like the Pro model. We are expecting to have to pay more for this.
There's going to be a drawback. No
come
doubt
on.
about it.
They can't be powered by Beats or something?
It's funny that you mentioned that, though. I didn't even consider the speaker thing just because I never use the speakers on my Switch. If I'm playing it handheld, I usually just have headphones plugged in.
Interesting. I usually don't unless I'm, traveling or something, or if I don't have headphones on me that I can just plug in. I actually just, mute it. And
I mute it a lot. I'm saying is if I have to listen to audio, then I plug headphones in. That's it. I don't, turn on the volume on the speakers for the Switch and listen to that way. No.
I see. Well, I do like to play it in handheld whenever possible because I do really like that aspect of it. Though playing Persona 5 Strikers in handheld, you do start to see all of those pixels. They become visible, and that's.
I was wondering, how is the performance of Strikers on the Switch?
In docked mode, fantastic. It does look like the PlayStation 4 version to me, at least.
Mm-hmm.
It does look very good. Mostly because, Persona 5 is not at all a graphically intensive game.
It's a very stylized game.
Exactly. But, if you start to pay attention to it, the models are very simple.
Mm-hmm.
a lot of things there are just overly simplified, and like just the art style is really what's driving all of that. So 7 inches, I can see that happening. I would like for them to keep the same form factor, because any bigger than that, I might actually have issues playing with it in handheld mode. But I think that is very likely to happen. Another thing regarding that display is that it is going to be an OLED display.
That I can believe 100%.
I would love to see that too.
I believe that 100%. The Vita has already done it. I don't see why Nintendo wouldn't do it almost a decade after the Vita did.
True that. A lot of people are speculating though that there just might be a lot of like burn-in on Nintendo's end.
That can be an issue. There's workarounds for it. You know, the Vita ran into the issue, but people were able to mitigate that problem. I'm sure Nintendo could find a way.
Yeah, hopefully so. I mean, OLED technology has advanced a lot since 2012, right?
Yeah.
That's when it came out?
I believe so.
Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, I'm pretty sure that an OLED display would make games look absolutely beautiful. And I very much look forward to that myself. Another rumor that is incoming is that because of all of these renders that we have been seeing, we might be seeing a glossy Switch, just like a glossy body. It's going to be a total fingerprint magnet if that ends up being true, but I really don't think it's going to be the case.
I'm torn on this, because on the one hand, yeah, glossy bodies always end up looking very plasticky and fake. On the other hand, matte bodies end up always turning glossy because, you know, the hands naturally have oils on them.
Yeah.
And so wear and tear kind of weighs down on them. So it's like you don't really win either way.
But I guess if you get matte, then, you know, you do get to keep it clean for much longer.
Sure.
I mean, that's one way to look at it, in my opinion.
Sure. The only thing I don't like the idea of glossy, just because, yeah, like I said, it would look very plastic knockoff. That's the only issue I would have with it.
Fair. This is going to be a bit odd, I suppose, because it is a handheld. But I've actually been playing with the RG351M, which has an aluminum body. It is basically just like a little handle for emulating stuff. I showed it to you last time, but I showed you the plastic model last time, and I really love the feel of the aluminum. It makes the system feel so much more solid. I would love it if the Switch had something like that.
Wait, so you got the aluminum one already?
Yeah, I did.
Okay.
Yeah, and it just feels so much better than the plastic one, in my opinion. But it's not really like I had an issue with the plastic one before that.
Is it that much more expensive, or?
Oh, no. It was only like $30 more, I think.
So like 130.
Yeah. Yeah, like it wasn't that big of a difference. However, I didn't know that there was an aluminum model until I was like, I wonder if there is an aluminum model after getting the plastic one.
I'm sure there's a good amount of people that are going to be listening to this wondering, what are they on about? So if you want to explain very briefly for them.
Yeah, so I'm actually talking about the Ambernic RG351M. For people that are into emulation and stuff like that, then you probably already know what it is. It is just a little handheld device that is only meant for emulating a bunch of different older handhelds or home consoles, NES, SNES, Sega, Dreamcast, PSP, PlayStation, and things of the like.
Are you intending on reviewing this product on the channel?
Of course.
All right.
I review anything I get my hands on.
Very nice. Now, of course, that review will not include places on where to get such emulations. That goes without saying.
No, of course not. Because everything I do is legal as well.
Yes.
So, next rumor is actually going to be that it probably is going to have an actual D-pad instead of these separate buttons.
I know a lot of people who would be very happy about that. I haven't had too many issues with the well, it's not a D-pad, but you know what I mean. I don't have too many issues with it, but
the directional buttons.
There we go. Yeah, we'll just say directional buttons, sure. I mean, I haven't had too many issues with it, but I also acknowledge that I haven't really played that many fighting games on the Switch, you know, compared to, say, you know, other than Smash Bros. I mean, which Pyra came out and she's broken.
Oh, yeah,
well, not
I
broken,
heard.
but you know what I mean? Like she's very good.
This morning, I woke up to like a notification from one of the YouTubers that I watch, and the title of the video is just Pyra is broken, or Pyra broke Smash, something like
Okay,
that.
so I realized that I started off with the word broken, but the thing is, everyone uses the word broken whenever a new character comes out. You know, Steve broke Smash, Sephiroth broke Smash. Everyone says that this character broke Smash, or like is a broken character. That's not the case. It's just that Pyra is in fact really good.
Okay.
Like Pyra is an above average character. Mithra is a stupidly good character, and then combined, it's top tier.
Oh wow. Okay.
You know,
I mean, they are the same character. It's just that Pyra can't transform into Mithra, right?
Yeah, it's back. It's like back in the day with Zelda and Sheik, where you could transform using down B.
Oh, that's right.
Except, it does not take 30 years to transform like it did for Zelda and Sheik back in like Melee and Brawl days. It's almost instantaneous, and so like there's actual combo potential that you can use with the characters. So
Okay, interesting. I'm going to probably purchase her on the eShop today because I am really interested, and my nephew has actually shown interest in Pyra as well. He kind of just wants to have every character in Smash.
I'll let you demo her. I have the Switch with me, so
Oh, okay.
yeah, I'll let you demo her.
Sounds good.
But yeah, so other than Smash, I haven't really played that many fighting games. So like, I'm not, because I know one of the big things that people complain about when it comes to the directional buttons on the Switch is that it's really bad for things like fighting games or like old-fashioned platformers.
Yeah.
And like I said, I'm not really entirely certain. Maybe if I played BlazBlue on there, I'd get it because, you know, BlazBlue has a lot of those directional inputs. But, I mean, I know a lot of people really want it, so I'd be down with it. I can see it happening.
Okay. I would love it if that was the case because I actually really do like the D-pad on the Switch Lite. And the Switch Lite has that D-pad. Though, like, I understand the entire purpose of why the Switch, like the actual Switch, the original Switch, the big Switch, has its separate directional buttons, and it's because you should be able to use them as like separate controllers if you wanted to. And if you just had like a D-pad for your ABXY, it would be pretty awkward for people. I personally haven't had issues with it at all because I did put on like a little D-pad cover for it with like some adhesive on that Joy-Con so that I would have that D-pad.
Yeah, but that's third-party product, though. You know, a lot of people, if they don't have to buy third-party products, they'd rather not.
Yeah. And I totally get that. I would rather not have to do that either. But ever since I did that, like I haven't really had any issues using it as ABXY because the buttons are actually pretty clicky. So there's that. Yeah.
What I would hope for personally, if we're talking about controller changes, I would prefer like an actual like indent or groove on the Joy-Con analog sticks.
Yeah, actually.
You know,
I think
similar
that'd be
to
cool.
like what the Xbox controller has. Even if it's like ridged grooves, kind of like what the GameCube controller had, just something to like increase your grip on there. Because there's been multiple times where I'm playing a game on the Switch and I just feel my thumb slowly sliding off, and I have to readjust. And,
Yeah, they're so slippery.
like, so there's a reason why there's indents and grooves in a lot of these D-pads nowadays. It's because it's just, you know, it keeps your thumb in place.
Yeah, like just some kind of texture. Now, granted, I would like to keep the sticks convexed instead of concave because I realize that concave sticks are actually kind of uncomfortable after some time because I'm just keeping my thumb in this one like angular position. I don't know, like it's not my preference. I do prefer how the sticks on the PlayStation 5 controller, DualShock 4 controller feel. So yeah, like convex, in my opinion, is superior than concave. I keep missing the two. Yes. And another thing actually regarding these Joy-Cons are that they're going to have handles, which I don't like the idea of.
Handles like what?
Handles as in like I mean, let me see. If
like a bump on the bottom or something like that?
Yes.
Nah, I'm
pretty
good.
much.
No, thank you.
Yeah, or like some renders have also shown that is kind of like the grip controller.
I don't believe that.
I don't see that happening.
I'm gonna go on a limb. I do not believe that because the thing is, we also have to keep in mind, of course, whenever there's rumors of any Nintendo product, there's always gonna be a lot of bogus stuff.
Yes,
and I feel like that's one of those bogus things.
Chances are that everything on here could very well be bogus. I expect
most of it to be bogus. The one thing that
Yeah.
I think is actually like really feasible is OLED.
Yeah, OLED and a performance boost, which I guess I might as well get into that now.
Okay.
So, as for performance boost, there are rumors that it is still going to be 720p screen, but you're still going to get better performance because you're still going to get upgraded hardware. However, it is still going to be using an NVIDIA chip.
So the initial rumors that we were talking about a couple episodes ago about there being like upscaled 4K, that's slowly fading away.
No, actually, those rumors are growing. Like people are still betting on it having like upscaled 4K when docked.
Oh, and docked.
Yeah.
Okay, I thought the rumors also included upscaled 4K even in handheld. And
No.
It's like how?
No.
I can believe. So all right, I can believe that it's actually a 1080p screen with handheld though. Like I don't. It is a very Nintendo move to stick with 720p.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I can fully believe them moving to 1080p for the handheld, and then maybe upscaled 4K or at least 1440 on docked.
On docked.
But again, both of them upscaled, not native.
Yeah. Either way, honestly, I don't see any a higher resolution than 1080p happening in docked mode myself. I think that the focus is just going to be on 1080p 60, but there are also rumors that you might get the option to choose between performance mode and visuals.
That feels bogus. That feels very much like they're just aping what PlayStation has done.
Yes, I do not think that Nintendo is going to go to such lengths. It's just not like
that feels very much like a 4chan post of like, guys, I data mined the Nintendo headquarters.
Here's everything you need to know. Switch Pro coming out
Switch
September.
Pro, upscaled 4K, 8K support coming in the future. Grooved Joy-Cons. Also, Crash is coming to Smash. Metroid Prime 4 is coming out holiday season. Just dump out all of the things that everyone wants to hear.
Yeah, that's not happening. We haven't heard anything about Metroid Prime 4 since they announced that delay. Yeah,
they announced that they restarted development.
Yeah,
I don't see it coming this year. I can see us getting like remasters of the Metroid Prime trilogy for Switch.
I don't see why not.
Crossing my fingers, hoping so. But Metroid Prime 4 this year, absolutely not.
No. Definitely not, especially after not hearing anything.
Most of the big titles that everyone's hoping for, you're not going to see this year. You're not seeing Metroid Prime 4. You're not seeing Breath of the Wild 2.
Bayonetta 3, we're not seeing that.
You're not seeing Bayonetta 3. You're not seeing God of War. Just throwing out there. We didn't really talk about that on the State of Play, but you're definitely not seeing God of War.
Or the new Horizon Zero Dawn game.
No, I can believe that one for holiday season.
I don't think so.
I can believe that because it seemed like they were trying to see if they can get it out of the first half of this year, like by summer. So I can totally believe Horizon comes out like late November. I can believe that.
You think so?
I can believe it.
I disagree, but we'll see.
I can believe it. But yeah, God of War probably next summer, like 22, I think.
Yeah.
At best.
And just as a heads up, we are talking right now about the PlayStation 5. We did deviate a bit from the Switch here, but
yes, you will see Halo this year though. For one more time with Microsoft, we are seeing Halo this year. That's a guarantee. They already delayed it a year, so
yes. Yeah, they did. And there were actually a lot of terrible things being said about like the demo trailer.
Yeah, and that's the funny thing too. They actually recently put out an update post showing comparisons between what they showed at E3 and now, and the graphics are significantly improved.
Okay,
like
cool.
they are genuinely like taking the feedback and working and making the game a lot better. I think it's because they realize that Halo is very much make or break for the Xbox for a lot of people.
Yeah, I mean, Xbox does need more exclusives for sure. And Halo is one of those exclusives that are very strong on the Xbox in particular. So yeah, like they do have to make sure that this is a good game, because if it's not, then
now speaking of exclusives and launches and stuff like that, are there any rumors of games that are launching with the Switch Pro? Because naturally you're going to want to have a game that like demonstrates the Switch Pro's performance improvements.
Nothing very concrete so far. The most really regarding games that people are talking about right now, because like the biggest thing that people are referring to at the moment are really just like hardware upgrades. But when it comes to games, the most that we have heard rumors of is just that, like what's going to happen if developers decide that they want to take advantage of the Switch Pro hardware, but then it's like, oh shoot, we have to make a version for the regular Switch as well.
Right.
Like, does that mean that they just won't bring that game over because they have to make it for the inferior hardware that may or may not run it so well and the newer hardware, or are they just going to make a Switch Pro exclusive version?
That's a very good question. I mean, remind me, what exactly did they do when it came to like the new 3DS titles?
Well, something like Xenoblade Chronicles, for instance, which was an exclusive. I think it did launch alongside the new 3DS.
It did.
It was, it only ran on the new 3DS.
Yeah, but like, so what would happen if you try to put the game in the regular 3DS?
It just wouldn't run.
It just wouldn't run?
Yeah.
I could see them doing something like that.
Yeah.
I can see them doing something like that, but honestly, more than likely, it's just that the games are still going to be compromised because they want them to run at least passably on the regular Switch.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, don't get me wrong, there's going to be a lot of games where the performance on the regular Switch is going to be terrible. I mean, we already have that.
Yeah.
We already have that. But, like, it's still going to technically be playable.
Yeah.
Like, I don't see...
Like Cyberpunk, right? Like Cyberpunk on the PS4 Pro.
Actually, I was thinking about Switch examples straight up, like the Outer Worlds.
Oh, fair, yeah. I
Yeah,
think that's a better example.
The Outer Worlds. I remember when I tried the demo for Hyrule Warriors Age of Calamity, at least in handheld mode, it was really bad with performance.
Really?
At least from my experience when I was playing the demo. Again, handheld.
Mm-hmm.
In docked, it's probably a different story, but handheld, I don't think I ever got above 30 once. In many cases, I was sub 20, 15, whatever it was. It was
that's bad.
Like there was
that's pretty bad.
Because, there's a lot of enemies in the way, and there's a lot of, like, super big attacks, and you have to go, like, boom, boom, boom. It's Dynasty Warriors. You know how it is. But
yeah, but, I mean, I'll give you an example. Persona 5 Strikers
Mm-hmm.
has a lot of that Dynasty Warriors DNA, and even in handheld, it still runs at a great 30.
I do think Persona does, like you said before, it benefits from the art style in that you don't need as, like, detailed models.
And Zelda does too.
I feel like Persona's more stylized, though.
Persona is more stylized. I do agree, but like Zelda in general, it's also pretty stylized. I mean, like, let's look at Breath of the Wild, for example. It does have
Breath
like very
of the Wild is very cel shaded, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm sure that that Age of Calamity carries a lot of that DNA now.
I'm trying to remember now. It's been a couple months, but I mean, it could also just be bad optimization on their terms.
Which would be odd for, like, a Zelda title on a Nintendo system. It's only made for that system.
I don't think it was developed by Nintendo directly, though, was it?
No. I don't believe so. Usually, like, titles like this are developed by somewhere else,
It's
and they're just like given.
Force, Team Ninja.
Right. Yeah. So, I mean, I guess I could see that, but still, like, I would have expected more out of a first-party title. Even if it is in handle.
That's true, yeah. But I will say, I need to, maybe I'll double check it again. I could be talking on my butt here, but I just remember when I was playing it in handheld mode, I was doing the demo, and like that was the moment where it clicked to me. It's like, okay, we kind of do need a Switch Pro. Because before that, I was just kind of whatever on it. Is at that point where I realized, oh, this is bad. This is a Nintendo title, and this is bad.
Yeah, it should not be that way at all. I mean, like, it's a first-party title. So, speaking of performance, actually, there's another pretty big thing that seems kind of unlikely to be the case, but it should be the goal, in my opinion, and it's that the Switch Pro will have the same performance as a base PlayStation 4 and base Xbox One.
I can believe that.
I can too. However, that does bring into question, because it is a handheld that is going to be that powerful. Like, does it have to be thicker? Do you have to account for cooling?
I'm not entirely sure. We're like almost 8 years on from the PS4 and Xbox One X. Wait, no, Xbox One.
Yeah.
Microsoft, please help me out here with
your naming.
I almost said Series X. That's why. It's like, wait, no.
It's like, nope. I mean, 8 years later, they're still being scalped.
So 8 years on from the PS4 and Xbox One.
Yeah.
Or Xbox 720. Screw it. It. Okay?
It's what it should have been.
But anyway, we are 8 years on from those particular consoles, so I can totally believe that the power and technology for those things has considerably shrank down in form factor. I don't see why not.
Sure, it's hard for me to believe that it would have shrunk down that much, though.
It might be slightly thicker, but I don't think it's going to be like a book or anything like that.
No. I mean, that's not going to be playable. It might as well just be a home console.
I do expect the Switch Pro to require like all new level of like third-party things like cases and screen protectors and gel things like I expect that. Like I expect it just, because the form factor is going to be different. It's just how different it's going to be. I don't know. I don't think it's going to be that I expect it to be slightly bigger than the current Switch.
Sure.
But not by that much.
Okay, yeah, fair. Like, it's not going to be a Switch XL, for example.
No.
Yeah, like, it's not going to be the difference between a 3DS and a 3DS XL.
Yeah, no, absolutely not. Because I feel like after, once you get to a certain size, it stops really being a portable device. Like, as it is, the Switch is already kind of chunky to be just carrying on the go. Like, you can't put your Switch in your pocket the way you could with a DS.
If you have a Switch Lite, then I guess it does depend on how tall you are.
Like
I haven't had much success.
My winter coat,
Uh-huh.
the nice like winter coat that I have, I was surprised when I found that those pockets are deep enough to actually hide my Switch entirely in there. Like it fully envelops the Switch in there. That is the only jacket that I have though, and it was a miracle that I was able to do that.
Yeah. Have you gotten your hands on a Switch Lite in the
No,
past?
I've never touched a Switch Lite.
Okay.
How much smaller are they?
It is considerably smaller. It is kind of like, I want to say, it is kind of like a PSP, but longer. Yeah, like it, and a PSP definitely fits in my pocket.
I mean, you also have to consider too, though, the Switch Lite is obviously for a lot of people, they just get it because the more budget machine.
Yeah.
They don't need the TV capabilities, but it is kind of the more child-friendly product.
That is true.
It is not going to fit in a child's pocket.
No. It'll fit in their backpacks, though.
Sure. The regular Switch will, too.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. Like, I have to carry, like, an entire bag if I want to carry my Switch with me.
Yeah, that's true. Same here.
So it's already kind of not all that portable. So I don't know if they really want to go that much bigger into, like, a Switch XL.
Yeah.
But here's the other thing, too. We call it a Switch Pro this entire time, but once again, the nomenclature is because of PlayStation, because they had the PS4 Pro.
Yeah. It's not confirmed that that's what it's going to be called, in other words.
That's what I'm saying. Let's be real here. Nintendo's going to come up with some stupid stuff.
The new Nintendo Switch.
It's going to be the new Nintendo Switch, the Nintendo Switch Deluxe,
Oh, gosh.
Switch Plus, Switch U,
Switch.
Switch Up. There's a Switch Upgrade, so Switch Up.
Switch. Well, I was going to say Switch Lite, but that.
Switch Heavy.
Switch Heavy. Switch I. What else? Switch Advance, SP.
Switch Boy.
Switch. Switch Color. We can just go on and on and on about this.
If it really does become thicker to hold the guts, maybe it could be a Switch Cube.
Oh, Jesus. I mean, some people have actually been like memeing and saying the Super Nintendo Switch.
That actually is a very likely thing. And I can, honestly, I
wouldn't have an issue with it.
Super Switch.
Super Switch?
If you like initialize it to S.
Yeah, SNS.
No. Probably not, no.
Or let's just go back to, like the NX days. And let's just call it the Nintendo Switch X or Nintendo X Switch. Horrible.
See,
Horrible name.
Switch Pro is the like most logical thing, but Nintendo is anything but logical, as we have clearly seen over the last, we'll say 100+ years, their entire existence. I'm sure 40, 50 years ago when they said, we're going to do video games, everyone was like, Nintendo, you stupid.
Yeah, like didn't Nintendo used to do something entirely different?
They were a Japanese card company.
There you go.
I'm trying to remember what his name. Fumi Cards? Whatever it was.
They
were a very traditional card company.
Interesting. So like not your Yu-Gi-Ohs, not your
cards,
Cardfight Vanguards.
Cards, toys, all that stuff. And then they jumped into the world of games with Pong consoles.
Pong consoles, and then eventually they made an actual home console.
And then they started with the home console, Famicom, and then when they brought it over here, it was the NES with Rob.
Ooh.
with Rob because the video game market had crashed in '83 and nobody wanted to touch video games.
Oh yes, that was a thing.
Yeah,
and then
so-
it was revived again.
Nintendo's strategy was to market it not as a video game console,
as an
but
entertainment system.
as a robot buddy
Oh,
that came with interactive titles.
interesting.
That's what it was.
It kind of reminds me of the Wii. It's like, no, it's not a video game console. It is a workout machine.
So everyone tries to talk about how Super Mario Bros. Saved the game industry. No, it was Rob. It was Rob. Don't you forget it.
Single-handedly.
Clawed.
Yeah, there
He's
you
got
go.
the claws.
Yes, but I would say that is essentially everything regarding the Switch Pro rumors. Like, there are things also like involving the storage, but these are like more so hopes. Like, we're hoping that it does come with more, with like more storage already built in. We're also hoping, like, some people actually said, hey, let's get a second SD card slot in there too. Yeah, I also don't really think it's that necessary, but
It would be one of those things that it's like cool. I don't know if I'd use it though. I'd probably just get a bigger SD card, but
no, I think I would actually end up using the second one, because here is the thing about just using one big SD card. They cost way more.
get it on sale.
Even on sale. Like, let's say that you wanted a 1 terabyte SD card.
Why do you need a terabyte? Why do you need a terabyte?
Because games are massive.
Nintendo games are not that massive.
Yeah, not like first-party titles necessarily, but we do still have some pretty big third-party titles.
I mean, the biggest titles I remember hearing about from like on Nintendo Switch were like sports titles. How many people are really playing sports titles on the Switch?
Good question. Anyway, we have reached the end of the Text on My podcast
we
for
have.
tonight.
You know, but
Yeah.
it's very interesting. I am trying to. I mean, now I want to know if you guys are playing sports games on the Nintendo Switch, please let us know.
Indeed.
Leave a comment down below or something like that, because I'm very curious now.
Yeah, same here. I do wonder, like, just considering that sports games, from what I have seen, don't look good at all on the Switch.
They run okay. I know they run usually around 30, closer to 60, but like you could play 2K on there. It's just, do you want to play 2K on there?
I don't think you would. I do not think you would. But
Probably not. But
let us know if you do play these games. And
course.
with that said, thank you very much for watching tonight's episode.
yes, if you are watching on YouTube, I gotta pad that time out a little bit. If you are watching on YouTube, look at the social media information at the bottom of the video. I'm a little rattled here now. I'm trying to think about people who play 2K on the Switch.
Yeah, I mean, same here. And also, if you are listening on other platforms, you make sure to check out the description, because we do have my social media specifically is still incoming. It
Work
might
in
be this year
progress.
or next. Yeah.
Yes.
Yes, but with that said, this has been Francisco.
And Chris,
And we'll be seeing you all on episode 34.
good night. Travel well.
Enjoy. This is a rap song. We're gonna get the Switch Pro this year with the right gear. Is it light years away from my hands? Chicka.